This is Shenzhen, China in 2024, one of the world's most vibrant economic hubs. 40 years ago, it was just a small, quiet fishing village. So, how did it change so drastically? The answer lies in its location. Shenzhen capitalized on being right next to Hong Kong, a major financial hub, and exploded into a global powerhouse. Now, let's turn to Johor Bahru. It shares a similar advantage, sitting right next to Singapore, the fourth biggest financial center in the world. But while Shenzhen thought, JB is still trying to catch up. You've probably seen this: traffic jams, bustling checkpoints, and packed buses. It's hard to miss when about 145,000 vehicles cross Johor Bahru's customs every single day. And it gets even crazier during public holidays, like this year's Singapore's March school holidays. Over 5.1 million travellers cross the Woodlands and the Tuas checkpoints. And just for context, Singapore's population as of June 2024 stands at around 6 million. However, if you exclude the non-resident population, then the number shrinks down to less than 4 million. This should paint a picture. And as you have already known, the economic difference between the two is striking. Singapore's nominal GDP is a whopping $501 billion, which is very impressive when compared to Johor's nominal GDP of just $37.6 billion. Yes, this small island nation produces over 10 times the GDP of Johor, even though Johor's land area is 25 times larger than Singapore's. Not trying to throw any shade here, Dalat Tuanku, but it just highlights how much potential Johor has if we play our cards right. And on January 11, 2024, Malaysia and Singapore officially took their partnership to the next level, and MOU was signed to establish the Johor-Singapore Special Economic Zone, the JS-SEZ. The idea is simple: make it easier for businesses to operate on both sides of the border, while creating an environment that encourages both investment and growth as well. There are 7 key initiatives in this agreement, but I'll just mention some of the most impactful ones. Firstly, streamlining the application process for Singaporean businesses looking to expand into Johor means less red tape and faster setup times. Second, faster customs clearance at border checkpoints will help reduce those infamous jams and keep goods and also people moving smoothly. And of course, there's a focus on creating more trade and investment opportunities within the economic zone, making it easier for businesses to tap into new markets and resources. So, why would Singaporean businesses consider moving some of their operations to Johor Bahru? It's really a number question. In Singapore, prime office space rents at about $8.90 per square foot per month, but in JB, it's possible to find an office space with monthly rent starting as low as $5.60 per square foot. Doesn't that sound like a great deal? And if you're talking factories, the savings get even bigger. Renting a factory space in Singapore costs about $1.40 per square foot per month, but in JB, it's less than 70 cents per square foot for a ready-built space. That's more than 60% of cost savings on one of the biggest expenses. If you are still not wowed by the difference, here's the math for you. Let's say you want to rent a 10,000 square foot factory, which is pretty typical for a factory in Malaysia. That difference can save your business tens of thousands of dollars each year. Factoring in labor costs would make that difference even higher. And while the median salary of an average employee in Johor is around $1,600 per month, across the strait in Singapore, it jumps to about $3,800, a whopping 2.4 times more. And I'm sure this figure might not cover every single job, but just tell me, if you're the boss, doesn't it sound attractive? And this explains why a survey by the Singapore Business Federation found that 93% of Singaporean business owners are curious about the opportunities in the economic zone, with 50% already having some operations in Johor. So personally, I think the economic zone isn't just some theoretical plan, it's a sleeping giant, ready to awaken and reshape JB's future, if we get the execution right. Quick quiz: what do salmon and avocado have in common? If you have caught my Budget 2025 recap video, you know the answer. It's tax. And that's right, tax rates are one of the biggest factors that businesses consider when choosing where to set up their business. Going back to Shenzhen, one of the reasons it became such a business powerhouse was because it slashed corporate tax rates from the standard 25% down to 15%, and that attracted a flood of companies into the zone. And for the economic zone to succeed, we need to follow a kind of similar approach, a competitive tax rate to draw in both local and international talents. Right now, our income tax brackets go as high as 30%, but in the SEZ, a flat 15% income tax rate could apply to high-income earners and also skilled talent. This is a win-win situation. It helps attract top talent to the area while making the region more competitive for high-value industries. So, if Johor can create a similarly attractive tax landscape, it might just become the next go-to spot for companies looking for a strategic base in Southeast Asia. But there's more to Johor's ambitions, and Forest City's Special Financial Zone is one of them. Recently, it was proposed to be integrated into the broader economic zone that I've mentioned earlier. Forest City is designed to focus on sectors like tourism, real estate, and financial services, and there's also a duty-free zone. This would hopefully create a more attractive investment environment, especially for businesses seeking for cost advantages while staying close to Singapore. This zone is also significant enough that it earned a spot in Malaysia's budget 2025. First, imagine a corporate tax rate of between 0 and 5% for eligible businesses compared to the current rates that can go as high as 24%. For sectors like global financial services, financial technology, and even foreign payment systems, there's also a specially reduced 5% tax rate. These incentives make the Forest City Zone an extremely attractive option for companies looking to maximize their profits. Another key incentive announced was a 0% concessionary tax rate for up to 20 years for single-family office. Now, don't let the name confuse you. It's not an office where your family goes to work. Think of it like this. Forest City is a place where wealthy families can set up specialized offices to manage everything from financial planning and investments to insurance and even family succession. Attracting these family offices isn't just about bringing in businesses, it can actually transform the whole economic landscape. And over the past decade, the number of ultra-wealthy, or we call it the centimillionaires, has grown 54% to over 29,000. These individuals need politically stable, economically secure places to manage their global investments. And if Forest City can become that go-to hub, it will mean high-value jobs, a boost in demand for infrastructure and real estate, and also a more vibrant investment climate in Malaysia. And other than that, the zone has plans for advanced banking services, capital markets, and also innovative financial products that could truly elevate Johor's financial sector to complement Singapore, who, as I said earlier, placed fourth in World Financial Centers ranking due to its globally competitive economy, international connectivity, skilled workforce, and also pro-business environment. Many stockbrokers and fintech companies have their bases in Singapore as well, and one of them is our favorite, Interactive Brokers. They are very well regulated in 10 different countries, comes with a super low fee package, and they even offer fractional shares trading, so you can technically start investing even with just a few hundred ringgit. I personally have been using their investing platform for years and years already, and I could not recommend them enough. Feel free to use my link down below to open an account for yourself. It's free, fast, easy, and secure. Alright, let's get back to the video. Now, apart from tax and incentives, one of the more exciting initiatives within the Johor-Singapore Special Economic Zone is the focus on strategic economic collaboration. The goal here isn't for Johor to compete head-on with Singapore, but to complement it. Johor has the space and cost advantages to attract activities like manufacturing and logistics, which require more land and are more cost sensitive. Meanwhile, Singapore can continue focusing on high-value services such as trading and also advanced research and development. So, manufacturing is one of our key focuses, especially in sectors like electronics and electricals, petrochemicals, and food processing. Johor has long been a hub for electronics manufacturing, and with the new Industrial Master Plan NIMP 2030, our goal is to really move up the value chain. But our problem right now is that many of our factories focus on the back-end activities like assembly, testing, and packaging, which is why it's time for a more major role. Take semiconductors for example, we gotta move beyond just assembly and into areas like R&D, IC design, and wafer fabrication. And in addition to manufacturing and logistics, the economic zone is also focusing on sectors like digital infrastructure, tourism, and healthcare to diversify its economic base. Data centers are a key part of this strategy, with investments from companies like Nvidia, Keppel, and Bridge Data Center. giving the support needed for the region's growing digital economy. This development aligns with the global shift towards cloud services and digital transformation, making Johor Bahru a strategic location for tech-driven companies. But let's be real, these wonderful concepts are easier said than done. Take a look at how many hours people lose every single day just trying to cross the border between JB and Singapore. Every extra hour spent in the customs queue equals hours of productivity loss. No trading, no spending, and certainly no transporting. Our advantage of having cheaper labor and rental doesn't mean much if the logistics are a nightmare. And this is why improving the cross-border experience for both people and goods is crucial. And because of that, JB and Singapore have initiated plans to digitize cargo clearance and passport-free access at land checkpoints. Back in March 2024, Singapore also introduced a QR code system for immigration clearance at its checkpoints for travelers in cars. Meanwhile, Malaysia has also been testing new systems, launching a 3-month trial of My Trip and My Rentas. As to how useful it is, well, let me know in the comments down below if any of you have been using it. Yes, quicker custom is good, but if we can't get people to choose public transport over private vehicles, adding more lanes won't necessarily solve the problem. No matter how many lanes you build, the congestion at the border won't magically disappear if everyone is still driving their own car. And that's why the Rapid Transit System RTS link between JB and Singapore is such a crucial part of the plan. So this RTS link aims to provide a faster, more efficient way for people to travel between the two, and it is expected to be fully operational by 2026, and when it's done, it's supposed to carry 10,000 passengers per hour in each direction and over 300,000 people who cross the two regions daily. And for Malaysians working in Singapore, this could mean less time stuck in traffic and more time being productive at work or even relaxing at home with their families. And it could also encourage more people to live in JB while commuting to Singapore, which would boost spending in Johor's economy because staying equals spending and spending equals money. But of course, for the RTS link to be successful, it's so much more than just a fast train. How do you ensure seamless integration with existing transport systems, keeping fares affordable, and making sure the immigration processes at the RTS stations are smooth and efficient? These are the challenges that will determine whether the RTS can truly ease cross-border congestion. I guess only time will tell. So, after everything we've just discussed, can Johor Bahru really become the next Shenzhen metropolis? The ingredients are certainly there. Geographic advantage? Check. Lower cost and favorable tax incentives? Check. Strategic partnerships with Singapore? I guess in progress, the groundwork has been laid, but as with any ambitious plans, the devil is in the details. For Johor Bahru to make this transformation a reality, execution is key. And yes, challenges remain. If you ask me, the number one factor that will determine the success of this area is none other than political stability. Think about it, if I'm an investor, I need absolute confidence that this plan is going to stick and continue at least for the next 10 years. I'm not going to take a risk if the policy is like roti canai, flipping all over the place, especially if things can change with the next general election. And let's be honest, in the past few years, we have seen cancelled projects, U-turn policies, and plenty of political drama that I won't even get into. The entire growth of this area is policy directed, so who's making the policy is a critical factor. But here's the thing, if you get lucky and everything aligns just right, Johor Bahru might just have what it takes to become the next economic engine of Southeast Asia. Malaysia is already ranked as the world's third most competitive global business services location, behind only India and China, and that's a huge competitive advantage. It means we have the potential to serve clients globally. Coming from Europe or North America, no problem, most Malaysians speak English. Traveling from China or India, we have overqualified translators ready to assist. And for our Middle Eastern friends with luxury cars and even more exotic pets, yes, halal options are widely available. We have all this potential just waiting to be unleashed.